Today we are taking a look at Drop Drive Deeper Space Edition. Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at the second edition of Drop Drive, which was the spiritual successor to Dungeon Drop, and this is the Deeper Space Edition. So this is coming with upgraded version of Drop Drive, as well as some additional components. So if we see here, this box is going to include the core game, the Strange Signals expansion, the fifth captain or fifth player expansion, upgraded deluxe planets components, and luxury links. Just to show off some of the upgraded components here. Here are the luxury links they are referring to. You can see here, this helps create the path of your ship as you explore the world. We'll talk about how all this is used here in just a minute, as well as dual layer planet boards. So you can see as you place your tokens into here, they will nest in there nicely, as well as just general component upgrades. Here you can see nice screen printed wooden ships and some really nice other components. There's no cardboard for any of these items that are going to be part of the Big Bang. So how do we go about playing a game of Drop Drive? First thing you're going to do is create your ship and choose your captain. So there are various ways of doing this, but the standard way is to randomly deal out a captain tile to each player, and then deal out two ships, two ship fronts and two ship rears to each player, and let them choose. So just to take a quick look at some of these captains, they're going to provide certain bonuses to you. For example, Captain Hartrick here gives you an extra specimen slot that you could tuck a card under. We'll take a look at those here in a second. Or Suprema here, or Suprema, would give you +2 to all combat rolls. You're going to choose one of them, and you're also then going to select the front and the back of your ship. Now these are important because they're going to give you the basic statistics throughout the game. These green symbols here represent your explore value. So if you land on a planet you're able to explore, this is the amount of explore cards you can draw. You're still only going to get one, but this one, the drone, obviously allows you way more choices than simply just drawing and keeping the one card the Leviathan would offer. And last but not least, these two both have a boost rocket rating of 5, which is how many links you can connect end to end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how far your ship could travel as you are traveling around the board. All of these numbers can be adjusted by adding in upgrades to your ship. So let's take a look at these two fronts here. They are very similar. The improvised gives you 1 additional storage slot and 2 slots for specimens. These guys gave you just 1 slot or 2 slots. So for example, this guy here would not give you very much cargo space, but would give you lots of specimen space, whereas this would be, say, maximizing your cargo space. The other two things that are important to note here are your modifier to your combat rolls. Both of these guys are getting +2, so anytime you encounter another player or a pirate, you would add +2 to your roll. And this tells you where you can drop your ship in using your drop drive. Your drop drive uses fuel. You do it at the beginning of the game, and then after that, you can spend fuel to relocate your ship anywhere on the map. This guy can go anywhere. This guy has to be dropped near another ship. And this is, of course, within rough proximity of you just simply dropping your items onto a playmat like this. So let's just say, for example, this is the ship we would want to create. We have the improved Leviathan, and we have Captain Suprema of the improvised Leviathan. Last but not least, all players are going to be dealt 3 random explore cards. So these are the cards that you would draw based on this rating here during the game. At the beginning of the game, everybody's going to get 3, and you get to choose 2 to keep. So here are the 3 different types of explorer cards you can have. You can have specimens. These are going to have to be housed in a spot in your ship. So you remember that one captain here, Captain Hartrick, would allow you a fourth spot in this situation. Specimens are going to provide you end game scoring based on certain formulas. I'm not going to get into all that, but basically each one of them has statistics listed up here, and then down here it tells you at what rate those statistics of other specimens grant you bonus at the end of the game. You also have passengers. Passengers don't need to take up a spot on your ship. They can simply be placed off to the side. Passengers have a certain planet or two they want to get to. So for example, Sid Storage here wants to be dropped off at either the green planet or the pink planet. When he does, you get this benefit right here. There's no limit to the amount of passengers you can have. And then ship upgrades, for example, the Tenacious here, you would simply add like this in between your ships. And now we have the improvised Tenacious Leviathan. Not only do ship upgrades offer you something additional, this one would give you +1 rocket boost. That means you can take another link and add it to your chain, allowing you to travel further on your turn. But also ship upgrades allows your ship to take damage. Anytime your ship would take damage, instead of jettisoning cargo and losing cargo, you would simply flip over a ship upgrade until you can make it to a planet to heal back up again. So those are the 3 types of Explore cards that you'll be gaining with your Explore rating here. Unfortunately, though, you do have to just pick one. So let's say we chose those 2 to pick. At this point, you're going to select a color. You're going to take all of your links in that color and connect together the amount based on your rocket booster rating. You're also going to take the ship in your color, the pirate ship in your color, and the die in your color. And at this point, we are set up, as far as the players are concerned, ready to play a game of Drop Drive. All right, for the remainder of setup, it's pretty straightforward. You want to set out your planets. There are 5 planets, 1 for each player color, and there are 2 sides to each planet. The one with more options is the easier side. That means this planet will accept more cargo and will pay out more times. It'll make the game go faster, and it makes it a little easier. The harder side here gives you these flux core options that doesn't come on this side, but as well as it's more restrictive as to the planet, what it will accept as cargo. You also want to set aside piles of the credits. The credits are the main victory point in the game. So you want to have those set aside. You also want to set aside a certain number of these small tokens here. These tokens go into the planets. This is where the dual layer planet boards comes into effect. And so every time you would come to, say, the yellow planet and you would trade in green gems, you would then be paid out 4 times the number of green gems you drop off, but then you cover up that slot. That's essentially making, at least on this planet, green gems worth more money. It would be the reverse in blue. But as soon as the last one of these is placed, then the game is over. That triggers the end game. So in this case, I put down 8 of these little tokens for a 2-player game. You want to make sure you have your stack of Explorer cards shuffled and set off to the side. And then last but not least, we are going to take all of the items that belong in space. So these are going to be our planets, which are these large D12 looking, almost like bouncy balls, dice. We have our gems of the various colors. We have our scrap, our anomalies, and our fuel, all of which are real nice deluxe components. At this point, we have created a wall per sense. The game comes with 3 adjustable walls, so you can make the area of space as big or as small as you'd like. You could even use the box lid in this case, and you're going to set the sun in the middle, and everything's going to be dropped off the sun and scattered. So this is where the game gets its name from, Drop Drive, and is the most fun part of the game. So let's take a look at how everything drops. All right, at this point we've dropped everything out. You can, before the game starts, gather up any collection of the stuff dropped that, say, is a huge concentration. For example, there's 2 fuel cells and this guy here, and these guys are pretty close together, and we'll gather up these guys as well. You want things to be spread out. The closer things are, the faster the game's going to go. So you can collect up any amount of items you want, re-drop them, have them spread out, and whenever you're ready, you would decide to start the game. So the first thing you're going to do on your turn is activate your pirate ship. If your pirate ship's not on the board yet, you want to go ahead and drop it in. So we don't have my blue pirate ship yet on the board, so we're going to go ahead and drop in our blue pirate ship. Boom. And he's way over there. Pirate ships always go after the closest cargo or ship. In this case, there's no other ship on the board, so it's going to go towards the closest cargo. It doesn't ever go after anomalies, but it will go after scrap, and it will go after fuel cells. In this instance, you could get out and measure things with your links, but I'm going to say that this piece of scrap is closest. So it travels to there, and that's where it's going to stop. It then takes this scrap and places it on its home world. So our home world is the blue planet here, and at the bottom of every planet there's a place for a pirate's hold, and it's going to sit right there. Pirates basically go around, steal the cargo, and hold on to it until they are defeated. If you defeat them in combat, they will lose all of their cargo. It's re-dropped back into space, and the pirates are brought off the board and then are dropped in again on the next turn. To start our player turn, we're actually going to take our ship for the very first time, and we're going to place it on our planet. So the blue one is way over here, but the way these dice are creates a nice flat face on top, so it gives you the ability to actually land on your planet. First thing you're going to do is actually scoop up the fuel canister that's closest to you for free. So everybody gets to start with a fuel, and it's actually going to come off the board. That has to find a spot on your ship. Now, after you have activated your pirate on your turn, your first option is to use your drop drive if you so choose. You would have to spend a fuel canister off your ship, but then you can actually pick up your ship, and depending on where your drop drive icon is, depends on where you could drop your ship in from. So from here, at this point in the game, the best I could do is drop it roughly from here, and it has to, drop somewhere near my pirate ship. But once other players enter the board, I may want to drop near them. For now, we're just going to skip that phase. It's very simple, but it allows you to, say, jump across the board. At this point, we're then going to manipulate our navigational tool, or our links here, based on our rocket booster rating. In this case, I have a total of 6 with my upgrade, and we're going to lay it down and see what we can pick up. I can manipulate this in any configuration I want, and I could even make it go purely straight, but we're going to want it to lay down on the board here, and I'm thinking this is a nice area to go to, so I'm actually going to scoop up several things here, trying to get boom, boom. Now at this point, you need to do your best not to bump stuff around, but the beginning of the nav tool must touch your ship or the planet that you're starting from. After that, you're simply going to fly your ship along your navigation tool, and at any point your ship would touch items, you get to pick those up. I don't think I could quite have reached that green one, but I'm going to say I would have picked up these 3 items here, and again, they have to find a space in your cargo hold of your ship. At this point, I have finished with that turn. You cannot leave from a planet and return to that same planet on your turn, but you could go from one planet to the next if they're close enough. Also, if you ever find yourself full up on cargo, you can jettison any amount of cargo you so choose to make room for the gems or scrap or whatever it may be that you would like. If at any point as you're traveling along you pass next to or would touch another ship, you need to pause your movement and a battle would ensue. This doesn't end your movement, but it just pauses it. If we encounter a pirate, we have to make a choice. We can either surrender to the pirates and lose a single cargo from our ship, or we can battle the pirates. And we'll talk about battling here in a second. If you encounter another player's ship, you again have two options. You could come in weapons armed and hope they surrender. If not, you're going to battle. Or if you both come in with open channels, both claiming peace, you actually each get to pick up the two closest pieces of cargo and divide them up. So you're each going to gain one piece of cargo. Now, again, if you encounter a pirate, unless you surrender, or if you want to damage another ship and have them drop some cargo, you're going to battle. Battling is very simple. Each player would roll their die. So if I'm the yellow player, I'm rolling for the pirate. In this case, I would roll this number and it's a 1. In this case, I'm the blue player. I'm going to roll this up. It's a 2. Plus, I'm getting my battle rating right there, which is an additional 2. So I would win 4-1. If it's a pirate, they simply would take everything in their pirate hold and redrop it into space, making it available to be picked up. However, if the pirate were to have defeated me, let's say it defeated me 5-4, I would have to take ship damage, which means I would have to take one of my upgrades and flip it over. If I didn't have an upgrade to flip over, I would have to lose a cargo. Same thing for the other player. If we were to go like so, and the other player were to defeat me 6-4, I would have to take 2 points of ship damage and jettison any extra cargo. So it's only the difference. In this case, my total would be 4. We'll say they don't have any modifiers, so their total is 6. So the loser would take 2 damage. But that's battles. Super simple, super straightforward. You're both rolling dice. The pirates never have any additional bonuses to add, but that's about it. The last action you can take on your turn is if you land on a planet. So if you're Link, or if at any point you pass by a planet, you have to stop your movement and land on that planet. But a lot of stuff can happen when you land on the planet. First of all, you can deliver passengers. So that's the wrong one. Let's say, for example, we have Zoo Nexus here. He wanted to get to the yellow planet. We have landed on the yellow planet, so we can drop him off and we can swap the position of this planet and any other planet, which is crazy. So you would literally just pick this one up, place it down, and put the other one in its place as close as possible. This would allow you to then, if you've kind of picked over this region of space, get to another region that's got way more opportunities. The next thing you can do is turn in any scrap. So in this instance, I actually have picked up one piece of scrap from the board, or from space. I would turn that in by dropping it back in, and then I can draw one explore card for every piece of scrap that I dropped off. In this case, I have gotten a new ship upgrade. I would place that in between my front and my back ship. It doesn't matter where. Again, this is going to give me +1 credit for each water asteroid sold, but it's also going to give me the ability to take 1 more point of damage. Last but not least, you're going to sell your asteroids or crystals to the planet you're on. So in this case, I have 1 green and 2 blue crystals that I can drop off on this planet. I would take 2 of these little markers. Remember, this is the timer for the game, and put 1 here and 1 here. Both of them are selling for 4 each, so this would be a total of 12 credits that I would take. These asteroids are then dropped back into space for someone else to pick up. Also, in this case, this upgrade of mine would give me the ability to get an additional credit for those 2 blues, so I'd actually get 14 credits in this instance. Last but not least, you have the choice of either repairing your ship or exploring the planet. Repairing your ship simply means you get to take any damaged ship parts and flip them back over, so you gain access to them. You get access to those bonuses, and that's damage you can take in the future. Or you can explore based on your explore rating. So if this was a 1, I would simply draw 1 card. I can keep it, I could discard it if I want to, but why wouldn't I keep Lux Lucius around in case I get back to the blue planet? But say, for example, this was 3, I would get to draw 3 cards, and I would get to choose 1. So maybe I really want to add this to be able to draw more cards in the future, or maybe I know I'm going to the white planet next, and so I would take on this passenger. But that is the end of the landing on a planet phase. At this point, we have covered over all the actions that you can take on your turn. Again, these are very quick, very simple. It's a sandbox style game with this spatial, very minimal dexterity element to it. But as soon as the last one of these tokens is placed on a planet, you're going to count up your money, aka your victory points. You're also going to calculate any amount of victory points that your specimens that you've been carrying around might give you, and whoever has the most is the winner. And that's how you play Drop Drive. The game also comes with 6 different anomaly modules. These are things that you can add into the game as you see fit to change up how the game is played, as well as various different scenery components that you can place into your space to give you obstacles to have to fly around. And the Strange Signals expansion, which offers 8 new anomalies, each with their own rule set to add to the game as you see fit. In the end, who would I recommend Drop Drive Deeper Space Edition for? This is definitely a family weight game. There is a lot of saying, oh yeah, you're close enough, or that's good, or ooh, I bumped that. This is not a game for the hardcore gamer or someone who's used to measuring things out with a ruler, so on and so forth. This is a lightweight sandbox style game. This particular edition adds a ton of stuff. This box is packed to the gills from the very beginning. So if you are looking for a sandboxy type of game that's just a lot of fun, that isn't to be taken too seriously, one that you can easily play with kids, it says A+ on the box, which is about right. The manipulation of the booster rockets and your little chain does take some manipulation of the fingers that I would say A+ is about right. But other than that, it's very straightforward. Tell kids just to create a little fun link with their chain and pick up as much stuff as possible. Super simple, straightforward. The games don't take too long. There are rules in the rule book to extend the game if you feel like they're too short, but I easily have played a 2-player game in under 30 minutes, and that includes setup and everything else. So I would definitely recommend Drop Drive Deeper Space Edition if you are a fan of, say, Dungeon Drop, or even if you have purchased Drop Drive in the past and are looking for a more deluxeified one. If you enjoyed that game, this one definitely has all the bells and whistles, as well as all of those expansions. And again, it's all in one box here. This thing is bursting to the gills. I've yet to get it all back in without the lid lifting off. So this is, again, a review from Phase Shift Games. I was provided this review copy for this video, just so you guys are aware. You can find this on Tabletop Tycoon's website, or I believe it's going to be coming to standard retailers very soon. So, once again, I'm recommending Drop Drive Deeper Space Edition.